And after 3 days of trying, they never quite could get that kitten out of the tree. In other news, we now go live to our reporter in the field, where we have a breaking story about photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis. What is that, like a new TikTok app the kids are using nowadays? Anyway, over to you, Mrs. Vermack. Microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Vermack. Yes, we are going to be learning about the process of photosynthesis. You see, people say that this process is occurring constantly, but I myself have never seen this happen. So, to help us learn a little bit more about this, we're going to be interviewing Sir Snappy. Now, Sir Snappy, how do you keep this photosynthesis process going? Can we turn up the volume on the mic? Seems that Sir Snappy is speechless in my presence. So we will be going to a professional to give us a little bit more information about what is occurring. I'm here now with Science Stu, who knows a lot about science.
Happy to be here.
Yep. So, Science Stu, can you tell us a little bit more about this process called photosynthesis?
I certainly can. Photosynthesis is the process by which plants get the necessary energy to grow and survive. And I have a diagram here that can hopefully explain it a little bit more. You see, plants do this process, very, very complex chemical process, by using the photons from the rays of the sun, as well as carbon dioxide and water.
Now, so all of those things is what's required for the plant to have this process photosynthesis.
Correct.
But what does that actually produce?
Well, you see, what happens is when those three things, those photons from the sun, carbon dioxide, and water, they go into the chloroplast of a plant. And inside the chloroplast is chlorophyll, and that is where this amazing chemical reaction happens. Through this chemical process, what happens on the end of it is that the plant is able to produce oxygen and sugars. And you see, they need those sugars in order to survive. Much like we as humans need food to survive, these plants need these sugars.
So I find it fascinating that they needed to produce these different sugars in order to survive, and so that's what those different elements created. But what are they using the oxygen for?
Great question. You see, the oxygen in photosynthesis is simply a byproduct of the process. What happens to that oxygen is much like our lungs as humans. We breathe in oxygen and we breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants, on the other hand, they do the opposite. They breathe in carbon dioxide and they breathe out oxygen, and that oxygen as a byproduct goes into the atmosphere, creating clean air that we as humans can then breathe in.
That is incredible.
It is.
So the plant isn't trying to create the oxygen itself.
No.
That's just a byproduct of this whole process.
Yes.
Wow, I am thankful that we have some plants so we can have some clean oxygen.
Me too.
Well, thank you so much for all this explanation. You've certainly cleared up a few things for me. Maybe later, guys, we can get a zoom up of this diagram in a little bit. Okay, and thank you so much for coming out. All right, back to you, Mr. Vermack.
Wow. Photons, carbon dioxide. That Science Stu sure knows a lot about science. Well, that's all we have for you today. Until next time, I'm Mr. Vermack.